A lot of people ask, why was David easily the man after God's heart? David was a man after God's heart because every time David wanted to do something, he didn't just jump at it. He asked God. He always asked God what to do, and he would wait till he hear God's voice to go ahead and do it. The Bible says, "My sheep hear my voice and they follow." Means that for God to call you his sheep, his own, means that you hear his voice. Yes, David did so many wrongs, even killed somebody's husband just so that he could take the wife. But there was something unique about David. He didn't come to God pretending. He didn't come to God arguing with God about his sin. Whenever he was wrong, he will place ashes upon himself. He will go flat before God and he will plead. Most of the time, we act as if God does not see us or God is not aware of what we do. Beloved, God is aware of everything that we do. He sees both the secret and the open. He sees the intent of our heart even before we do it. He sees our intent even after we do it. So David was a man that followed God, listened to God's voice, heard God concerning things, and moved according to what he has heard that God said. That's why most of the battles that David fought in the Bible, he won them. He wasn't going to God saying, "God, you see me." If you watch, if you look at if you read the book of Psalm and you look at the life of David, it was always apologizing to God, telling God how wretched he is, how how human he is, and telling God about his offenses, about his sin. These two things are very notable things that you can learn from the life of David. Hearing God's voice and always humbly. The Bible says that if you humble yourself and come to me, he said, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray. David was a man with so much humility. He went to God humbly, and his prayer was not filled with pride or so much disgust, but it was filled with humility and reverence to God. It's something that we need to emulate and fix into our daily life. It is a pattern that David followed through to the end. So when next you want to ask, why was David a man after God's heart? Remember these two things. David listened to the voice of God and he followed it. And he was a man that when he sinned, he acknowledged the sin. He didn't argue with God. He didn't run like Adam and Eve ran away from the presence of God. Rather, he went deep into God's presence. That's the mistake we make so much time. We always condemn ourselves and run away from God's presence when we should run into his presence. David knew how to come into God's presence, to run into it without not running away from God's presence. And these are the things that made David a man after God's heart. I believe you have learned from today's episode. Thank you for the likes, the comment, the share. God bless you. I pray that God is going to align you with his will, his plan, and his purpose for you. God bless you. See you next time.